Hi, welcome back to the royal hall of our favorite court jester, Mirage Prime. This is a bit of an update video on an old video that I did where I had a speedrun of Profit Taker with Mirage Prime. I promised a build, so belated, but here it is. The build is mostly made for a duo squad, as you will not get the double credits that Chroma usually gives you. So ideally you would be running this mission with a Chroma. Profit Taker runs in general are quite extensive in terms of the equipment you need, so I will try to go through all of the weapons and setups I use as quick as I can. For Mirage Prime, in terms of Archon shards, I am using 2 health Archon shards. I'm using 2 ability strength Archon shards and 1 casting speed Archon shard. Now the casting speed Archon shard is up to you. You can also put another armor shard, health shard, duration shard, strength shard. It's whatever you would like. For the Mirage Prime build itself, I am using Holster Amp and Vigorous Swap to buff our weapon damage. Prime Sure-Footed to not be knocked around by the explosion of the Profit Taker. Adaptation for some more damage resistance. Blind Rage to get our power strength up as high as possible for Eclipse. Transient Fortitude for the same reason. Primed Continuity for some more duration on our abilities. Constitution for more duration as well. Narrow-Minded for more duration. And Umbral Intensify or Irregular Intensify if you don't have the Umbral Forma here. Is also fine. Again, power strength to up our Eclipse damage. In terms of arcanes, I'm going with some extra survivability from Arcane Guardian and extra damage using Arcane Avenger. This ups the critical chance of practically all of our gear, so it's a nice way to burst down the shields of Profit Taker as quick as possible. In terms of helminth, Nil Star is another source of damage reduction, and this is needed because Mirage is quite squishy. Okay, so that's it for the Mirage Prime build. In terms of primary, I'm using the Zenith. The status effects on this are just the Toxin, so I use the Zenith just for the Toxin whenever that pops up on the Profit Taker. Otherwise, I use it to clear the pylons that spawn, because the Zenith has infinite punch through on its once you switch the mode. So once you switch it to a semi-auto mode, your punch through becomes infinite, which means that you can puncture the bubbles that usually spawn around the pylons, so you don't have to fly or go to them. The Zenith is, however, locked behind a login day. I think it's 150 days, but I'm not entirely sure. If you don't have the Zenith, you could consider using the Ogress. With the Ogress, if you use Nightwatch Napalm, you can shoot the bullets close to the pylons, and the Nightwatch Napalm will be able to overlap into the shield, also destroying the pylon. It's just a bit of a different tactic. You will need to go in your arc wing, go up, shoot the pylons. In terms of Rivens are for Mirage not necessary, but if you are using Chroma, they can be nice. This helps us one-shot the pylons. So you are looking for multi-shot and damage mostly. Crit chance and crit damage don't work on the pylons. So that's it for the Zenith build. One thing to note at the end is that primary dexterity is really nice. This ups the damage after making melee kills, and I will show you how we get the melee kills. And we are basically maximum stacked on dexterity stacks all the time, which ups the damage of our Zenith, so we can insta-kill the pylons. So for the secondaries, I'm using the Tenet Diplos. The Tenet Diplos, I built them for pure crit, base damage as well, multi-shot and a lot of fire rate. I'm using Amalgam Barrel Diffusion because it gives us the dodge speed increase, which is nice. Again, secondary dexterity because we are making melee kills. This ups the damage and gets us through the shields faster. In terms of Progenitor, you're looking for a Magnetic Progenitor. Then I get Radiation from Accelerated Isotope, which is nice. It's just 1 mod slot. Heat I get from Primed Heated Charge. And Viral I get from this Riven. So I would suggest picking up a Riven that has Viral on it. This increases your amount of status types that you deal with just one weapon to 7 different status types. This means that you don't have to switch weapons that often. and you can just continue shooting the Tenet Diplos. That's it for the Diplos. Then in terms of melee, I'm using a Exodia Contagion Saw. Exodia Contagion is still multiplicative for Mirage's ability, Eclipse. However, with the Eclipse nerf on other frames, it doesn't scale as high anymore, which is partially why I'm using Mirage in the first place, because Mirage still has the 600+% damage increase, which is multiplicative to the Exodia Contagion explosions. So you can strip shields of the Profit Taker, in our case if it's cold, gas, or corrosive, because I'm also using melee exposure, which is where our corrosive comes from. In terms of Riven, you're just looking for critical damage and critical chance, and then just slap on as much raw damage as you can. Then for the companion, I'm using a Smeeta Kavat. Prime pack leader is nice, normal pack leader as well, because you are making melee kills with your Exodia Contagion Zaw. Whenever the Profit Taker is shooting its pylons, you can run around, throw some Exodia Contagion Zaws at all of the Corvas enemies that spawn, which will give you overguard on your Smeeta Kavat, so it doesn't really die. In terms of bond mods, I'm just using Tenacious Bond for the increase in critical damage multiplier, which helps on the Diplos and all of the other stuff as well. Make sure that you slot Charm in your first slot. For some reason, abilities on companions are always triggered from top left to bottom right. This means that the first ability that will be triggered will always be Charm. So this helps with getting a little bit more uptime. Then also don't forget to use Tech Enhance, because this increases the duration, so you're more likely to overlap with your Profit Taker kill to get double credits. Then for the how we down the main orb, so how we shoot its body, is with the Corvas. So Necromech doesn't really matter. I just have this Voidrig, which isn't even maximally leveled, just for the health. I didn't even level the mods. What you would do is you would spawn your Voidrig or your Necromech, go into it, and then quickly shoot with your Archgun. A Prime Corvus won't work because it shoots some weird bullets. The Corvus regular version has a shotgun mode, and the shotgun mode has punch through, which helps on the legs if you want to get rid of the legs. So we're building for a lot of raw damage and radiation. Then in terms of Riven, I have this Riven, which is electricity, multi-shot and crit damage. Would be a little bit better for if you had corpus damage, so a faction mod, which you don't have on Archguns. So getting a faction damage on your Riven is really nice. I can one-shot the legs with this setup. You can also one-shot the legs if you don't have a Riven. You would need to use, I believe Containment Breach would work. Okay, so that's it for the Archwing gun. Then the last place where we get our status types is with the Operator. With the Operator, you can use an Arcane, which is called Virtuous Surge, and this converts your void damage to electricity damage. So whenever we see electricity damage pop up on the Profit Taker, we switch to our Operator. We activate Void Strike for Madurai, which greatly increases the damage as well as depletes our energy, so we get the critical chance increase. And the shield, if you damage it with the Operator, it's a bit buggy for the Profit Taker. You can usually instant strip the shield, even if the electricity procs all the way at the beginning. In terms of survivability on the Operator as well as the Warframe, I'm using Magus Elevate. Magus Elevate has a 95% chance to restore 300 health to our Warframe when we transfer back in. So if we transfer out and in of our Warframe, it will usually restore health, which is really nice if we need some quick health on the fly. Then if we are an Operator, there's a chance that we get stunned by the Profit Taker. So Emergence Savior helps with surviving that. If we do get knocked over and we get killed, you do not have to maximally level it. Just a rank 0 would also be fine. You still get the effect. In terms of amps, I'm using a 147. A 117 would also work. A 177 would work. As long as you have the semi-auto, this is nice because it make sure that you can keep your distance. You don't have to be super close, and you strip the shield basically instantly if you do the electricity damage to it. So that's all of the setup. I will show you a quick run through of a run just now. So I'll go towards the Profit Taker. Okay, here we go. So what I like to do, get some energy, go into archering, immediately fly over to this spot, and wait until the Profit Taker spawns somewhere. And there it is. So we quickly go there. We activate our abilities. Look at what we need to damage. Apparently it's the Toxin. There we go. Now we have the electricity, as you see. So we go into operator, strip electricity, go into the necromag, kill the lags, then kill the base. Wait until the pylons are down. Then we kill the pylons. There we go. Go back into the necromag. Shoot the lags again. And get the body. Go to the Diplos. Shoot. Now we have to proc. There we go. Exposure, because sometimes you need to recast your ability to get the corrosive damage. Shoot the body again. Now we kill some random guys that are walking around. Get rid of this pylon. There you go. Cool. Then a Diplos again. That was Toxin, so we had to switch. Necromag lost a little bit. Lags, body. There we go. So you can quickly switch out of your necromag by by going into operator, which is nice. If you then sling forward like 2 times, you will not transfer back in, which can sometimes be annoying if you keep going back and forth into your necromag. Can't get rid of this guy. And then you can teleport back by going to Fortuna. You don't have to suck up loot with Itzal, you can just run behind the left hind leg of the Profit Taker and grab the loot that way. And that's it, and we're back. So this took, I don't know, while explaining, 2 minutes 22, which is pretty average. You can get this down in the speedrun that I did to under 2 minutes. And this is completely solo. If you do this in a squad and you try to distribute the tasks around, like shooting the pylons, doing the lags, stuff like that, you can get it even quicker than this. So hope you enjoyed, hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you like this, please also remember to subscribe. There's a lot more Warframe content coming. Apparently you guys were very interested in the Spectre video, so that will be probably the next one I'll make, but it will be taking a little bit longer because I want it to be a nice video. And this was just a quick update. Bye.